All right, it's time for the Star Goddess podcast and the Crash and AJ blog at 98rock.com. If you're new to the show, we drop these right before noon every Monday. Star Goddess is on her show on Monday. We get all kinds of emails and questions for her, and she just uses your birthdays and the birthdays of everybody involved in your question to help you out with your life and stuff like that. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. And the great thing is, too, whenever things happen, I mean, it doesn't have to be a Monday morning in order for you to get a hold of us. You know, especially with this podcast, you know, you can email me anytime, any day of the week, and we can get those answers on for you come Monday morning.
All right. That being said,
I like that.
Want to refresh
Tomorrow's news today.
Yes.
And refresh everybody of what the theme is and going into this week here.
It is the equinox tomorrow. The sun goes into Libra, and the equinox occurs twice a year, March 21st and September 22nd. And the equinox there's an old pagan ritual that's a prosperity ritual called Dance Naked and Burn Money for Prosperity. And you do that twice a year, and it's sort of just the acknowledgement that without God's indulgence, and God to me, whatever name you call it, is that which can create something out of nothing. Without God's indulgence and blessing, none of us would make it through. So that's the first thing that we do tomorrow. But then more importantly, the sun has gone into Libra. And whenever the sun changes signs, your attention changes. Where you are focusing your attention changes. And I think it's important to know what area of your life you're going to be paying attention to, because that all depends on not only your zodiac sign, but the time of day you take your first breath. Because the planets tell you what energy is available. The sign of the zodiac tells you the quality of the energy, but where it's placed in your astrological chart shows you where in your life in particular that energy is going to manifest. And I think that's a pretty important piece of information to have, to see where should I be focusing my attention. So for Libra, the sign that we are going into tomorrow, it is all about the Libra. It is about what the Libra wants, what the Libra needs. The Libra's been sort of hanging back the last couple of weeks or so, finishing up old projects, not really ready to start new ones, and that all changes like tomorrow. When the sun enters Libra, it is all about the Libra getting what the Libra wants, what the Libra needs, and the Libra being blatant about advancing their interests, which I think is a good thing for Libras. So this occurs in their personal life, in their professional life, all the way across the board. Libras are having like a big coming out party, you know, because they're all about getting their wants and needs met. And they have really been challenged. Mars has been opposing their sign since the middle of July, actually the beginning of July, and they're like sort of their last nerve, and they've been really polite because as a rule, Libras are pretty polite people. They're very balanced. They can see other people's side to an argument, and they've had it. It's over for them. Now it's going to be their way or the highway. It's going to be about what they want and what they need, and their partners need to go, yes, ma'am, or yes, sir.
Long story short on what it means when Mars is opposing your sign.
When Mars is opposing your sign, everybody is yelling at you. Everybody is pointing a finger at you. Everybody's going, you.
Wow.
It's pretty much what they're doing. So, And a lot of times it can be very stimulating. It can get you to, take action. But other times it feels like you're being blatantly attacked. And I think Libras right about now are feeling that they are blatantly attacked and the kid gloves are off and they're going to come out swinging. And so, and they'll be polite when they do it. You know, here's a Libra insult. I used to wear light-colored nail polish, and some guy was flirting at me at a party, and a little girl came up and said, "Oh, I like your nail polish." I said, "Oh, thank you." And she said, "I wore that 3 years ago." Indicating that I was passé, that I was out of style. You know, that's the Libra kind of insult.
Passive-aggressive stuff?
Wow.
Yes. Where the Aries will walk right up and punch you in the mouth, you know, Libra will do it kind of indirectly and kind of politely insult you. So, and of course,
Gotcha.
I'm an nasty Virgo, and I went, wow, to make them little stubby fingers of yours look any better? Because I'm the wrong one to say that stuff too. So, but that's it for Libras. It's about them coming out and then them getting their wants and their needs met at the top of the list. So, how'd you like that in a sign? For Scorpios, good time to take a step back. Good time to just kind of take a step back, not say too much, do a lot more observing rather than a lot more talking. I have to laugh because Kamala Harris is a Libra and Joe Biden is a Scorpio. If he's smart, he'll just let her go out and, and take on all comers kind of a thing because she's really very well equipped for that particular battle. So for Scorpios everywhere, they just need to take a little bit of a step back, a little bit of a break. Doesn't mean it's going to last forever because Mercury goes into their sign next week. But for the next week or so, they really need to kind of look around and see the stuff that they need to finish rather than starting new stuff. And they also want to look and see if they can let somebody else fight their fight for them because there's nothing wrong with that. Somebody who's a little better equipped than that because Scorpios have a real scorched earth policy. It's like their way or the highway. And Libras can be a lot better at getting what they want without being openly hostile towards it or openly aggressive. They're very good at being gently assertive as opposed to openly aggressive. And Scorpio has the more openly aggressive thing, and you just got to look at Hillary Clinton to know what that is. So she's my quintessential Scorpio. Yeah, it scares the hell out of men. Yeah. Yeah. So.
And ladies, too, man. Whew.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Boy, that's the truth. So just how they are. They're a very intense sign. So it's a good time for them just to kind of take a step back and kind of mend fences, build some bridges, and get everybody to work on the team to get the Scorpio what the Scorpio wants. For Sagittarians, this is great energy for Sagittarians. This is in their 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives, and they get their well-placed male friends and colleagues to help the Sagittarian get what it is that the Sagittarian wants. So it's a particularly good time for that energy, as Dak Prescott's going to find out because he's got a moon in Sagittarius. And your buddy Fitz ought to find out next weekend, too. That's pretty good energy for them, getting what it is that they say that they want, and having the group work to get the Sagittarian what the Sagittarian wants. So it's not a matter of the Sagittarian putting forth this huge effort. It's more along the lines of the group or the team or the colleagues working together to help bring the Sagittarian what the Sagittarian wants. So that's good news.
And that's
you have to like that.
You can expect a little fantasy news with the podcast here. So it's this is the season where it's time of year where it's a little bit more prevalent. But yeah, it's a good heads up.
I like to work it in when I can. Just because it keeps it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
For Capricorns, this energy is in the 10th house of career and public standing. And there is some sort of career decision that's going back and forth with the Capricorn. And I think it's the Capricorn trying to decide, where do I want to go next, or what do I want to do next, or what's the next objective for me. And they really need to take the next 30 days and kind of weigh out the pros and cons, the pros of staying versus the pros of leaving. And by the same token, the powers that be are evaluating the Capricorn's performance and deciding whether they're going to keep them or not. And I don't think there's anything really the Capricorn can do to impact this at this point, but I do think that it's whatever the Capricorn was trying to start between January and April that kind of got shut down by the coronavirus, picks back up now. And I think it ought to be pretty favorable for them because for Capricorns everywhere, Jupiter is in their sign between now and the second week in December, and that's their best new start in 12 years.
So James Winston's a Capricorn, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm just throwing this scenario out there because we got two NFL quarterbacks that have gone down on this past Sunday.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston could be trade bait, could know it. Maybe what he wants to guess about where he could go between maybe San Francisco right now, maybe Denver right now. But that was just kind of something that stuck out to me whenever you said that about a Capricorn right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I recall he was looking for a job between January and April.
He was.
He didn't get the one with the Bucs. So yeah, that would be really interesting. I think again, I'm glad we got Tom Brady because if I was going to get rid of Jameis Winston, the only guy I would get rid of him for was Tom Brady.
Gotcha.
But I do think that Jameis Winston, having his eyes fixed, can do a lot better in not throwing so many interceptions. And I think that also has to do with the offensive coordinator not calling plays that are going to get intercepted on again.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's my harsh statement about that. But no, he really could. He could end up being someplace really cool for him.
Okay.
And really make a name for himself. And then the Bucs first, of course, come back and beat our butts at home on national TV.
He's not going to get much of a chance to play in New Orleans now. If New Orleans knows they can get something for him, they might deal him something. They might deal him something. One of those two teams there. I mean,
yeah. I think he's playing for like $1 million for like the whole season.
Yeah, she's basically going to quarterback college.
Money ahead of it. Yeah. But I would not count him out of the elite quarterback group.
All right.
So, I would love to see a great new start for him. For Aquarians, this energy is in the 9th house of the law. Legal matters go very well for them. Educational matters go very well for them. It's interesting. The moon sign of the United States is Aquarius. We just lost a very prominent female jurist. And I think that with the sun in Libra, the 9th house of the law for that, I think there's a good chance that we'll get appointed another woman. And I don't really care who appoints a woman. I just would be happy to see another one on the Supreme Court. But for Libra, for Aquarians everywhere, the law is on their side, and when the law is on your side, you want to go ahead and use it. Legal matters go very favorably. Contracts, any kind of negotiations, any kind of compromise will go the Aquarian's way. It's very favorable. It's a good time to be an Aquarian right about now.
I wonder what was her birthday. We need to look that one up, send down the road, and see what Bader Ginsburg's birthday was.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be very telling to find out when her birthday was.
Yeah,
her birthday was. She's a Pisces, March 15th, 1933.
Yes. No wonder. I'm sure she held out as absolutely long as she could with pancreatic cancer, because she wanted to. But again, as long as there's another woman, I don't really care who she is. I just want to see another woman on the court. I think we need a couple on the court, not just two. So
big shoes to
but I
fill
think
right
that's
there.
favorable. I think this is favorable for that. And I don't really, like I said, I don't really care who nominates one, as long as we don't get another old white guy. I think we got enough of them.
Well, according to President
Just
Trump, he was saying that he wanted to nominate another woman. So it's looking like if that's the case, that
say a lot of ugly things about him, but he does love women. He does. He might not treat him very well, but it doesn't mean he doesn't love them. So, but I think that bodes fairly well for that. But for Aquarians everywhere, when the law's on your side, you want to go ahead and use it, either through a legal battle, through an educational battle, or some sort of contract and negotiation goes very favorably for the Aquarian over the next 4 weeks or so, with the sun being in Libra. For Pisces, oh God, this is the eighth house of death, regeneration, sex. For Pisces, this is a 30-day period where Pisces needs to kind of reevaluate things. They kind of need to reevaluate where they're going, what they're doing, who are they doing it with. A lot of their fears are going to be dragged out over the next 30 days or so. And the thing about that is not to let them scare you, but to say, okay, if this is what I'm afraid of, I'm afraid this is going to happen, rather than have anxiety about it. What can I do in the event that happens? So you have a plan so it doesn't just catch you flat-footed. That's the kind of thing you want to look at with this type of energy, is to say, okay, what would I do if this happens? Or what would I do if that happens? That's the kind of thing. You just don't want to stick your head in the sand and go, ooh, I hope it doesn't happen, because that's where anxiety comes from. But it's not the easiest energy for Pisces anywhere. So, and that's like 30 days worth of that stuff. So,
good luck, Pisces.
I'm not a Pisces. Yeah, that's
family
not good.
is filmed with them. Yay! I feel.
Yeah. You got a lot of crummy stuff going on. That's the thing with that. It's sort of like, wow, how bad could it be? I don't know, but it's going to be 30 days of questioning a lot of stuff. It's not a good time for Pisces. Not the easiest time for them, unfortunately.
I hate hearing that for them.
I know. I hate to even say that.
Well, thanks for keeping it real, and at least, if anything, just like what you're saying
Be
with
warned,
this is the time, that you can actually, rather than have the anxiety over it, work on what you can do, in case it happens. Get ahead of the plan.
What's the time period on that again?
For Pisces, February 19th through March 19th. And Chris Godwin's going through that right now. He's a Pisces. He's got Mars in Pisces. He's out with a concussion. Gronk too. Gronk's got a no to the moon in Pisces. He didn't have the greatest game again because of that energy. So for Aries, much better energy for Aries. For Aries, this energy is in their seventh house of partners, intimate one-to-one relationships, picking out new allies. And the thing for Aries is they have to realize that not everybody that gives you a hard time is your enemy. Not everybody that smiles in your face is your friend. And that to kind of reserve judgment and find a way to work with both of them, because why take a perfectly good ally and turn them into an enemy, and why presume somebody's an enemy when they could have the same goals as you? It's sort of like me against my brother, and then me and my brother against my cousin, and then me and my brother and my cousin against everybody else. That's the kind of thing that they will see over the next 30 days, who is with them and who is against them. And that's always an important thing to find out, is who your real friends are and aren't. But the emphasis for Aries everywhere is on interpersonal, one-to-one relationships for the next 30 days or so, for good or for ill.
All right.
For Tauruses, this energy is in the sixth house of work and responsibility. Just what AJ wants to hear is, yes, more work for you, AJ, more jobs for you. This is the type of thing where you don't get the promotion or the corner office. This is where you do a good job, and they go, wow, you did such a good job. We want you to do more of that. And you say, well, you're going to give me more money? And they go, no, not really. We're going to let you keep your job. It's that kind of a thing. And it's sort of like, do this job, and then we'll see later on if we can compensate you for it. It's that kind of a deal.
That's the radio business in general, pretty much.
Oh, is it?
Well, that's a lot of businesses in general right now, too. Thanks, COVID.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. But actually, and if you do it, it actually pays off for you, starting after about the 15th of November, when you can see a result with it. But it's sort of like that, do the job now, we'll talk about compensating you later. So, but the good news is, if anybody can do that, it's the Taurus. They really can. They can hang on in there a lot longer than any other sign. So
that's right. We're
also,
stubborn, we're tough.
Yeah, they are. They don't quit even when they should. The other good thing about the sun in Libra in their sixth house is they get their vitality back. They get their energy back. They may have struggled a little bit over the summer, and for them it's a lot their health improves. And I don't know whether they start a new health regime or they just start feeling better in general. I'm not sure which one it is, but either way, they're a lot healthier this month than they were over the last 2 months or so. So that's a good thing for them. And if they were worried about some medical thing, it's not as scary as you think it is. It's not something to be afraid of, and you need to kind of deal with it right away. Although I will tell you, there are better days than others to do surgery on different parts of the body. So if we're going to be thinking about doing that, at least find out where the moon's going to be before you do that kind of stuff. So for Geminis, this energy is in the 5th house of I just want to have fun. For Geminis everywhere. This is a very creative time for Geminis. It's a very fertile time for Geminis. Anything having to do with love and creativity is what the Gemini is really interested in. They genuinely want to feel the love. They're coming off 30 days of not really feeling the love so much. So anything for Geminis is going to be better than where it has been for them for the last 30 days or so. It's a lot more creative. The month of September, or the sign of Virgo, is always the nadir, the lowest part of the Gemini's year. And so anything is going to be better than that. And they want to come out of that and have a lot more fun and a lot better time. So it's a good time for love affairs, good time with children, good time for competitive sports, that kind of a thing. So for our Cancers, it is in their 4th house of home. For Cancers everywhere, this is the lowest part of their chart. This is the lowest time of year for them. This is when they have no energy, they have no vitality, they're a little on the discouraged side. The sun is in their 4th house of home, and they really shouldn't tax themselves too much because I don't think they'll have the energy to carry anything through. I think this is a good time to beautify their own home, stay a little bit closer to their own home, do things that they are familiar with rather than take on new stuff. The time for new stuff will occur next month for them. Right now, they really kind of need to tend to their home and their foundations and make sure that those are solid and can support and sustain them, which is an important thing for Cancers, which again, the United States is a Cancer. So, we really want to take care of things at home, matters at home. For Leos, you ask inquisitively, Crash, this is a great time for them. Libra is 2 signs away from Leo, so they pretty much get what they want. They can form a consensus. They can strike any kind of a deal. They have the upper hand in any kind of a negotiation, which is a very cool thing for them, too. They have short distance, short duration travel popping up, and they may have been trying to put something into effect since July. And,
Gotcha.
and this month they get a little bit of an inkling that, holy mackerel, that might actually happen. It probably won't actually happen until after the 15th of November. But, you do? Good.
Yeah, I know what this is because I asked if we could move a time for a meeting in July. And, and I was just about to negotiate this deal. So I'm really optimistic about this now.
You should be. I would be cautiously optimistic about this happening. Yes, I do. And it's a good time just to be the one to reach out first to initiate things.
Yes.
Because you'll get a really good result with it. That's the thing. You'll get a really good result. This energy is very, very favorable for the Leo. So you got to like that.
I love it.
And then for Virgo, the last time we're going to talk about, it's about the money. It's about earned income. This is not, even though I did dance naked and burn money, this is more along the lines of earned income. This is money through the fruits of your labor that you can actually do that. And for Virgos everywhere, I'm going to tell you can't go it alone. This energy really requires a team effort, a group effort. And again, you want to make sure that you have people on your team that you can trust, but you are the one that's put this team together. And I think that at the end of the day, the Virgos end up with more money at the end of their month than more month at the end of their money. So I think that's good news if you're a lightning coach, too, because he's right on that Leo-Virgo cusp, right on that dividing line. So It's good news for Leos, and it's good news for Virgos because I'm pretty sure you make more money if you're in the Stanley Cup, right? You make more money that way.
I'm sure there's bonuses involved in that whole deal. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's good news for them. I'm cautiously optimistic about the Lightning Go Bolts because there's nothing I would rather see than Lord Stanley coming and paying us a visit. So I think that's very, very possible.
Nice.
So I don't think
now,
yeah. What?
Now, I do have a question from earlier when you were talking about Scorpios and it got me thinking about a couple other things about like Hillary Clinton and Democrats and Republicans. Like, are there signs for the Democratic and Republican parties for like their dates of birth? Is there anything foretelling?
Yes and no. But they keep getting modified. The Republicans now are not the same Republicans of the Lincoln Party, so it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, who's going to win the election? I don't know. Mercury's retrograde till the day of the election. People keep saying, who's going to win? It's like, honest to God, I don't think we'll know. I don't think we'll know on November 3rd. I don't think we'll know till after November 15th when Mars goes direct. You know, so it's really a hard. And normally I'm very opinionated about stuff like that, but not this time because it's the same. Mercury is retrograde the 3 weeks before the election, just like it was in the Bush-Gore election in 2000.
Oh, the hanging Chad.
And just like, that's what I'm saying. And it's the same energy. Mercury is again retrograde the whole 3 weeks before the election. And where in 2000 it went direct at 8:36 on election night. At 8 this year it goes direct at 12:30 in the afternoon on election day. But either way, I just don't think we're going to have an outcome that night, which is not good for the United States. You know, who knows what's going to happen. So.
Well, I guess thinking about it, too, if they're doing mail-in ballots, you know, I mean, that could be, maybe that might be some,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 15th of November. After that, that's when Mars goes direct, and I think that's when we'll know. And again, I don't know who it's going to be. And people say, well, who are you voting for? It's like, I don't know. It depends on who's alive on election day. You know, because, we got a couple of old guys running. We got old Gemini and old Scorpio, so who knows?
Yeah.
You know, you just don't know that kind of thing. That's why I wait to vote. Am I all for voting? I don't care how you vote or when you vote as long as you vote. But for me, personally, I like to make sure my candidate's elected. Because there was some candidate in California last year or 2018 that died and still got elected. You know, I hate to elect a dead guy. So.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know, kind of hard to tell. So tomorrow's news today. But don't forget to dance naked and burn money for prosperity. And humor me. I always feel dumb when I'm doing it. But I do it anyway. And I've always gotten a really good result with it. So I'm kind of all for that. You know, because to me, results are what count.
Yeah, you can count on me doing it. I just got to make sure I cover my porch accordingly so I don't end up on Florida or not Florida for burning money naked.
Exactly.
Yeah. My friend Bob did it one time. Went out in his backyard, forgot all about them because he lives in an apartment complex. Forgot all about the security lights. And there's a 6 foot tall woolly, he's got long curly black hair and a big black beard. And I'm not sure about the rest of them, but I know that those lights came on, and I guess he must have looked like Sasquatch out there. Doing something. So you got to be careful with that jazz. And you don't have to be naked.
I'm just trying to make my life prosperous out here.
Yeah, exactly.
So bikini, a mankini might be acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's just the symbol. Thank you, God, for all the blessings you have bestowed upon me. And I don't think it's ever bad to be grateful. Yep. I think that's the thing a lot of us are lacking. So.
100%.
Tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac. Go Bolts.
Yep, go Bolts.
Go Rays. Go all of them. I would love any one of those teams. I would be happy
there
to
you
see,
go.
Playing now. So I'm good with all of it. But go Bolts in particular because I love them. My whole lightning shirt.
Every Monday, Star Goddess is on with us on the air and on the podcast. And we'll be back next Monday on the Star Goddess podcast and the Crash and AJ blog right here at 98rock.com.
Bye-bye.